Hey, Mike Brookfield here. How's it going? Sad news this week about Bobby Whitlock. If you're a Clapton fan, which you probably are, hanging out around here, he was the keyboard player and singer, co-songwriter in Derek and the Dominoes. And what an amazing talent. He spent a few years in Ireland, actually. I know a few people who got to know him while he was over here. I never met him myself. I think he lived over in Sligo or Mayo or something like that. But yeah, really interesting character. What a voice. Definitely pushed Clapton vocally to absolute another level. Clapton could always sing, couldn't he? But like once he was around, Delaney and Bonnie, that was a different level of singing, wasn't it? They were gospel singers. And, those guys and Bobby Whitlock, had a huge role in the development of old Clappo. And Bobby, what a great songwriter in his own right, an artist. And he had a YouTube channel there, for a good few years, didn't he? Really, interesting insights to his time, in his musical career. So, what I thought I'd do today is, last night I was just kind of packing up and I thought, I think I might have a go at Thorn in the Garden. I just grabbed my electric actually, and then I, tried to pick out the chords and then I just recorded it and put it up on Instagram. And I thought, well, that would make a good video this week. There's a few things to take into consideration with Thorn in the Garden, and that it's a kind of a textural piece, isn't it? In that there's like at least 3 guitars kind of going on at this, there's those little harmonics, there's 2 guitars kind of playing just the simple chords but with nice textures, and then there's a little bit of slide in there, so there's actually a bass in there as well. And so this is a Bobby Whitlock tune, you know what I mean, so it seems really nice to kind of like try and pay tribute to him, or highlight his thing, in the time of his passing, if you like. So, what a great tune to end the Layla album, though. It's just a beautiful tune, and his vocals are just off the scale. If you hear me singing, it's like I'm not trying to be Bobby Whitlock. He's another level singer, but it's a great fun song to play. I never actually learned to play it until I looked at it last night. Sometimes I don't like to learn my own songs. I don't like to learn my favourite songs because I kind of ruin them. Let's get into it, will we? Now, on my Friday Patreon, I'll play along with the whole track. What I'm going to do is just play through the sections and show you how to play it. But if I play along with the track now, it'll just be, copyright struck and all that kind of stuff. So it starts with these kind of artificial harmonics where you go. Now, it's possible they could have been doing it in a different way with a capo on and stuff like this. I'm showing you how to do it with just one guitar. You're at a party, you grab an acoustic guitar, you play Thorn in the Garden. That's what we're doing here. So you can see what I'm doing there is I'm putting my first finger an octave above where that B is there. So, and then I'm using my pick behind it to pick that harmonic out. And you get that, just a B triad. And you can see, oh, hang on, I can put the tab up. It's not really a tab, just a few voicings. You can see you can play this whole song with like 5 voicings. There are a couple of other voicings that I chuck in, I might talk about along the way. So there you go. Anyway, you've got that little, and then it's like an E major 7. So I'm playing the open E. So that's the first voicing that you've got there. I've just written E, but it's an E major 7. And then if you play, it goes to like an A. But because you've got a B, you've got the 9 there. You could put the 6 in as well if you wanted, maybe. Yeah, we'll just leave it like that. Okay, so you've got it's only 8:30 in the morning, so you'll have to forgive me here. So there's a thorn tree in the garden, if you know just what I mean. I'd hate to hurt your feelings, but it's not the way it seems, 'cause I miss her. So you can just alternate between those two chords. So I'm not doing anything exact with this hand, I'm just hitting the bass note. And then I'm arpeggiating through the chord. She's the only girl I've cared for, the only one I've known. But no one ever shared more love than we have known, and I miss her. And then at this point it goes to that E7, so that's like the fourth chord along there. You can put your second finger down there as well and play that. And then it goes to an A, so you can just use that one again. You might see that I put my first finger down there just because of habit. But it's nice to have that open B. It kind of gives a, you know, you've got an open B and then a fretted B there, you know, so you've got that kind of more, a bit of a texture. So, it all seems so strange to see. Then you've got E major 7. She never turned her back on me. A, and then to a B. So I'm using my thumb over job there. And then E major 7 and E7 again. And then lead into the A. And she ends up walking the streets, loving every other man she meets. And then back to the A. And then you go to the B, but it's actually nice to play that B7. Lord, I hope it's not B. I'll go through that section again. E7, A minor, and then you just play an E. And there's a kind of like a slide thing that happens there. These strings are so funky. This has been in my son's room. Oh, it's got the teenage funk on it. You know what I mean? So what I was going to say there, let's do that middle section again. So the A. But it all seems so strange, you see, 'cause she'd never turn her back on me. Then that last goodbye. She winds up walking the streets, loving every other man she meets. Who'll be the one to answer why? Lord, I hope it's not me. And then you kind of move through these, you know, E to E7, A minor, E, and you get that kind of, which is a slide thing. Then you do another verse. Never see her face again and never hold her hand. And if she's in somebody's arms, I know I'll understand. But I miss that girl. And then you go into that E7, A minor, E major 7, E7, A. If you had two guitars, maybe someday soon, he does this beautiful vocal kind of thing that's way out of my range, but it's beautiful. So you could use that as a tag to end it. So then you kind of incorporate it in one way or another. I'm presuming you don't have a voice like Bobby Whitlock either, because not many people do or did. Do you know what I mean? So that's all you need really to play Thorn Tree in the Garden. If you had two guitars pretty much doing very similar things, where there's a kind of rhythmical rub that gives it that texture and feel. It's a really nice kind of sound. But yeah, you've got those harmonics. You can hear some of those harmonics pinking all the not all the way through, but keep coming in and out, and then you've got that kind of slide. So that's kind of a nice way of just approaching it if you just want to play acoustic guitar and play that tune, maybe as a tribute to Bobby the week that it is. I hope you enjoy that. Please go over to Patreon and say hi there. Like I said on Friday, I'll actually play through this song along with the record a little bit more. I can't do it here because it's YouTube won't favor me if I kind of do that kind of thing. So if you feel like supporting the channel, you'd like to see more of this stuff, head over there and or just give us a like here and a comment and all that kind of stuff. Keep it burning, guys.